Did you know that 76% of Americans over 60 worry about becoming a burden to their families, yet only 34% have concrete plans to maintain their independence? That's a shocking gap between concern and preparation that could lead to difficult situations for millions of aging Americans. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell, and I've spent the last 25 years helping older adults navigate the complex journey of aging with dignity and independence. Today, we're going to explore a topic many find uncomfortable but absolutely essential: why relying solely on family for support after 60 is not a sustainable strategy, and what you can do instead to ensure your golden years remain truly golden. I'm not suggesting family isn't important. They absolutely are. But depending exclusively on children or relatives for your physical, emotional, and financial needs can strain relationships and compromise your quality of life. America is experiencing unprecedented demographic shift that directly impact how we age. By 2030, nearly 20% of our population will be over 65. That's 73 million Americans facing the challenges and opportunities of aging. The traditional family structure has evolved dramatically. Adult children often live hundreds or thousands of miles away, pursuing careers in different cities or even countries. The average American family is smaller than in previous generations, meaning fewer children potentially share caregiving responsibilities. The COVID-19 pandemic has further transformed our understanding of independence and vulnerability. Many families discovered the fragility of care arrangements during crisis situations, prompting deeper conversations about sustainable support systems for aging loved ones. I frequently encounter misconceptions about family support that can lead to inadequate preparation. First is the assumption that children will naturally step into caregiving roles. While many adult children want to help, they often face competing responsibilities to their own families and careers. The sandwich generation, adults caring simultaneously for aging parents and their own children, face tremendous stress, with 60% reporting significant emotional and financial strain. There's also a significant gap in expectations between generations. A recent study found that 72% of parents expect to move in with adult children if necessary, while only 40% of adult children anticipated this arrangement. These misaligned expectations can lead to disappointment and conflict. Even the most loving family relationships can be strained by the demands of caregiving. Without proper boundaries, financial planning, and external support systems, what begins as a temporary arrangement can evolve into an unsustainable situation that damages relationships and diminishes quality of life for everyone involved. I'm advocating for a paradigm shift in how we approach aging, moving from dependency to interdependence. Rather than viewing independence as the absence of help, we should see it as having the resources, systems, and capacities to meet your needs in a way that preserves dignity and choice. This means building what I call the 7 pillars of sustainable aging: financial independence, proactive health management, environmental adaptations, emotional resilience, purposeful social connections, meaningful engagement, and legal preparedness. By strengthening these pillars, you create a foundation solid enough to withstand life's inevitable challenges while maintaining control over your own life. Let's explore how to build each of these pillars, starting with what many consider the cornerstone of independence after 60, financial stability. Pillar 1, financial independence. The most common financial oversight I see among Americans approaching retirement is simply not saving enough. According to the Federal Reserve, the median retirement savings for Americans aged 55 to 64 is just $134,000, which will provide less than $6,000 annually using the safe withdrawal rate of 4%. This leaves many people dependent on Social Security as their primary income source, which currently averages only $1,827 monthly, hardly enough to maintain financial independence in most parts of the country. Another critical mistake is underestimating healthcare costs. Fidelity Investments estimates that the average 65-year-old couple will need approximately $315,000 for medical expenses in retirement, excluding long-term care. Without adequate planning, these costs can quickly deplete savings and create dependency on family members. Consider the case of Richard, a 72-year-old former business executive from Chicago. Despite earning a substantial income throughout his career, Richard never prioritized retirement planning, assuming his pension and Social Security would suffice. When he required specialized cardiac care not fully covered by Medicare, he faced a $47,000 bill. Without adequate savings, Richard reluctantly moved in with his daughter's family, creating tension as his son-in-law's home office was converted to his bedroom. What began as a temporary arrangement has lasted 3 years, straining relationships and diminishing Richard's sense of autonomy. If you're already at or approaching retirement age, there are still strategies to strengthen your financial independence. First, optimize your Social Security benefits. For each year you delay claiming benefits after full retirement age up to age 70, your monthly payment increases by 8%. This could mean tens of thousands of additional dollars over your lifetime. If you're already claiming benefits but regret taking them early, you may have options. Speak with a financial advisor about potential strategies. The traditional 4% rule suggests withdrawing no more than 4% of your retirement savings annually to ensure your money lasts. However, today's financial experts often recommend a more flexible approach. In high-performing market years, consider withdrawing slightly less than 4% and banking the difference for years when markets underperform. Diversifying income streams provides additional security. Beyond traditional retirement accounts and Social Security, consider assets that generate passive income. Martha, a 67-year-old retired teacher from Boston, converted her basement into a small apartment that generates $1,500 monthly. This income allowed her to delay Social Security until age 70, significantly increasing her lifetime benefits. Part-time consulting in your field of expertise or monetizing hobbies can provide both income and purpose. Bernard, a retired accountant, offers his services to small businesses during tax season, earning supplemental income while keeping his skills sharp. The gig economy offers flexible opportunities from pet sitting to online tutoring that can be adapted to your interests and physical capabilities. As we age, financial protection becomes increasingly important. Nearly 5 million older Americans are victims of financial fraud annually, with average losses exceeding $120,000. Protect yourself by implementing strong financial safeguards. Establish automatic bill payments to prevent missed deadlines. Create a durable power of attorney designating a trusted individual to make financial decisions if you become unable. Consider consulting a financial advisor who specializes in senior finances. Review insurance coverage regularly, particularly homeowners and auto policies. Research long-term care insurance options before you need them. Remember Martha, the retired teacher I mentioned? After her husband's unexpected death, she discovered they were significantly underinsured. To rebuild financial stability, she worked with financial advisors specializing in widowhood transitions, downsized a smaller home, and established multiple income streams. Today, at 74, Martha maintains complete financial independence, travels regularly, and enjoys peace of mind knowing she won't need to rely on her children for financial support. Financial independence isn't just about having enough money. It's about having control over your resources and decisions. By strengthening this pillar, you create the foundation for a truly independent life after 60. Pillar 2, proactive health management. The second pillar, proactive health management, is perhaps the most direct contributor to maintaining independence. According to the CDC, 80% of older adults have at least one chronic condition, and 68% have 2 or more. However, Research consistently shows that lifestyle factors play a crucial role in determining how these conditions affect daily functioning and independence. A Rand Corporation study found that healthcare costs for the average American after age 65 total approximately $122,000 for women and $140,000 for men, excluding long-term care. Yet these costs vary dramatically based on overall health status, with physically active adults spending up to 40% less on health care than their sedentary counterparts. The connection between physical health and independence is direct and powerful. A recent Journal of the American Geriatric Society study found that seniors who maintained moderate physical activity were 28% less likely to experience limitations in daily activities like bathing, dressing, and preparing meals, the very activities that, when compromised, often necessitate family assistance or institutional care. Nutritional strategies become increasingly important after 60, as metabolism changes and nutrient absorption often decreases. The Mediterranean diet, rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats, has been consistently associated with reduced risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, and frailty in older adults. A landmark study following over 10,000 women in their 60s and 70s found that those most closely following this eating pattern had a 46% greater likelihood of living past 70 without chronic diseases or physical impairments. Consider implementing a rainbow plate approach, ensuring each meal contains colorful fruits and vegetables providing diverse nutrients. Protein becomes particularly important as we age, with research suggesting adults over 65 may need 1.0 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight daily, approximately 25 to 30% more than younger adults, to maintain muscle mass. Anti-inflammatory foods deserve special attention, as chronic inflammation underlies many age-related conditions. Incorporate foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, fatty fish, walnuts, flax seeds, antioxidants, berries, dark chocolate, pecans, and spices like turmeric and ginger, which have demonstrated anti-inflammatory properties. Physical activity doesn't require marathon running or heavy weightlifting to be effective. The most sustainable exercise program is one you'll actually maintain, ideally combining 4 key components: cardiovascular exercise, walking, swimming, cycling for heart health, strength training to preserve muscle mass and bone density, balance exercises to prevent falls, flexibility work to maintain range of motion. Consider the story of Margaret, a 75-year-old former office manager who began experiencing difficulty climbing stairs and getting up from chairs, early warning signs of declining independence. Rather than accepting these changes as inevitable, Margaret consulted a physical therapist who created a targeted strength program, focusing on her legs and core. After 4 months of consistent practice, Margaret regained the ability to climb stairs without assistance and significantly improved her overall mobility, postponing or potentially eliminating the need for a single-level home or family assistance. Even more impressive is the story of Robert, who at 82 began experiencing concerning memory lapses that worried his children. Instead of immediately stepping in to manage his affairs, Robert's daughter encouraged him to join a comprehensive brain health program combining physical exercise, cognitive training, social engagement, and nutritional guidance. Within 6 months, Robert showed measurable improvements in cognitive function and was able to continue living independently with minimal support. Proactive healthcare management extends beyond lifestyle to encompass your relationship with medical providers. Position yourself as an active partner in your healthcare by maintaining organized records of medications, conditions, and treatments, preparing questions before appointments, bringing a trusted friend or family member to important appointments as a second set of ears, utilizing patient portals and health tracking apps, scheduling preventive screenings religiously. Health technology offers tremendous benefits for independence. Margaret, whom I mentioned earlier, uses a smartwatch that tracks her activity levels, heart rate, and even detects falls, providing peace of mind to both her and her out-of-state children. Voice-activated assistants can help with medication reminders, while telehealth services provide convenient access to healthcare providers without transportation challenges. By investing in your physical health, you're directly investing in your independence and reducing the likelihood of becoming dependent on family caregiving. Remember, the goal isn't simply to extend lifespan, but to extend health span, the period of life spent in good health, free from the chronic disabilities and diseases that can compromise independence. Pillar 3, emotional resilience. Emotional resilience, the ability to adapt to change, bounce back from setbacks, and maintain psychological well-being, becomes increasingly valuable after 60. These years often bring significant transitions, retirement, relocation, health changes, and the loss of loved ones. Without emotional resilience, these challenges can lead to depression, anxiety, and dependence on others for psychological support and decision-making. The statistics are sobering. According to the National Council on Aging, approximately 15% of adults over 60 experience mental health disorders, with depression and anxiety being most common. These conditions aren't just emotionally painful, they're physically damaging. Depression in older adults is associated with increased risk of heart disease, stroke, and cognitive decline, creating a cascade effect that can ultimately compromise independence. Consider William, a 68-year-old retired military officer who lost his wife of 42 years to cancer. In the months following her death, William withdrew from social activities, stopped maintaining his home, and began relying heavily on his daughter for daily emotional support. His daughter, while caring deeply, found herself spending hours on the phone daily, disrupting her own family life and work responsibilities. William's lack of emotional resilience was creating an unsustainable dynamic that threatened both his independence and his relationship with his daughter. Building emotional resilience isn't about suppressing feelings or maintaining a superficial positive attitude. It's about developing the psychological tools to navigate life's challenges while maintaining your sense of self and purpose. Here are evidence-based strategies to strengthen this crucial pillar. Mindfulness meditation has demonstrated remarkable benefits for emotional regulation in older adults. A study from UCLA found that adults over 65 who practiced mindfulness for 8 weeks showed significant reductions in depression and anxiety symptoms, while improving cognitive function. You needn't commit to hours of meditation. Even 10 minutes daily of focused breathing and present moment awareness can yield benefits. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, techniques can be self-applied to identify and reframe negative thought patterns that undermine resilience. The basic premise involves recognizing automatic negative thoughts, challenging their accuracy, and replacing them with more balanced perspectives. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'm too old to learn this new technology," challenge this thought by acknowledging the many skills you've mastered throughout your life and the older adults who successfully use technology every day. Building emotional resilience also means developing healthy coping strategies for stress and adversity. These might include journaling to process difficult emotions, creating daily gratitude practices to maintain perspective, engaging in creative expression through art, music, or writing, spending time in nature, which research links to reduce stress hormones and improve mood, developing self-compassion practices to counter the inner critic that often becomes harsher with age. Returning to William's story. With encouragement from his doctor, William reluctantly joined a grief support group specifically for older adults who had lost spouses. Initially skeptical, he found profound comfort in connecting with others navigating similar terrain. The group provided both emotional support and practical strategies for rebuilding life after loss. William also began working with therapists who specialize in late life transitions. Through this work, He learned to identify when grief was spiraling into depression and developed personalized tools to manage these episodes. Gradually, William resumed social activities, began volunteering at a veteran center, and established healthier boundaries with his daughter, calling her for enjoyable conversations rather than emotional rescue. Professional mental health support remains underutilized among older adults, with only about 1/3 of seniors with mental health issues receiving treatment. Common barriers include stigma, cost concerns, and transportation challenges. However, the landscape is changing rapidly. Medicare now covers mental health services, including telehealth options. Many community mental health centers offer senior-specific programs. Senior centers increasingly provide mental health screening and referrals. Faith communities often offer pastoral counseling and support groups. If you're experiencing persistent sadness, anxiety, sleep disturbances, or loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed, these may indicate depression or anxiety, requiring professional support. Remember that seeking help isn't a sign of weakness, but of wisdom, recognizing when specialized tools are needed to navigate complex emotional terrain. By strengthening your emotional resilience, you reduce the likelihood of becoming psychologically dependent on family members and increase your capacity to navigate life's challenges with grace and autonomy. This pillar supports your overall independence by ensuring you maintain the emotional equilibrium necessary for sound decision-making and joyful living through life's inevitable transitions. Pillar 4, appropriate living environment. The fourth pillar, creating an appropriate living environment, often receives less attention than health or finances, yet profoundly impacts independence after 60. Your home environment can either support or hinder your ability to age autonomously, regardless of your health or financial status. The vast majority of Americans, nearly 90% according to ARP research, express a strong preference for aging in place, remaining in their current homes as they grow older. While this desire is understandable, the reality is that many American homes were not designed with aging in mind. Consider these statistics. 43% of homes have stairs at the entrance. Only 36% have a bedroom and full bathroom on the main level. Less than 5% incorporate universal design features like zero-step entries, wider doorways for mobility devices, or accessible light switches and controls. These design limitations can transform otherwise manageable health changes into crises of independence. A simple knee replacement might necessitate temporary relocation if all bedrooms are upstairs. Poor lighting increases fall risk, while inaccessible bathrooms can make daily hygiene challenging. Frank and Eleanor, a couple in their mid-70s, lived in their two-story colonial home for over 40 years. When Frank developed Parkinson's disease, the stairs became increasingly difficult to navigate. Rather than proactively modifying their home or considering housing alternatives, they maintained the status quo until Frank suffered a serious fall. This crisis forced a hasty decision to move in with their daughter's family, creating stress for everyone involved and significantly reducing the couple's sense of autonomy. Contrast their experience with Barbara, a 68-year-old widow who assessed her ranch-style home with future needs in mind. Working with an aging-in-place specialist, Barbara made strategic modifications including installing grab bars in bathrooms, replacing round doorknobs with lever handles, improving lighting throughout the home, creating a zero-step entrance from a garage, widening doorways to accommodate potential mobility aids. These modifications cost approximately $12,000, significant but far less than the financial and emotional costs of crisis-driven housing changes or assisted living. Because Barbara implemented these changes while still fully mobile, she had time to adjust to them gradually and incorporate them aesthetically into her home design. If you're considering aging in place, conduct a thorough home assessment focusing on these key areas. Accessibility. Can you enter and exit without navigating stairs? Can you access all essential living areas? Safety. Are walkways clear and well lit? Are bathroom fixtures designed to prevent falls? Usability. Can you easily operate controls, switches, and appliances? Will this remain true if you experience vision or dexterity changes? Maintenance. Is home upkeep manageable? Could it become overwhelming with health changes? Location. Are essential services within reach? Is transportation available if you can no longer drive? Home modification doesn't necessarily mean institutional-looking grab bars and ramps. Universal design principles can be incorporated beautifully and incrementally, often enhancing home value. Consider curbless showers with decorative grab bars that double as towel racks, motion sensor lighting in hallways and bathrooms, kitchen renovations featuring varied counter heights and pull-out shelving, smart home technology for voice-activated control of lights, temperature, and security. For many Americans, there comes a point when a family home no longer serves their needs, regardless of modifications. Recognizing this inflection point before a crisis forces a decision represents wisdom, not weakness. Housing alternatives worth considering include single-level homes or condominiums with reduced maintenance requirements, continuing care retirement communities, CCRCs, offering independent living with available assisted living and nursing care if needed, naturally occurring retirement communities, NORCs, where services are brought to existing neighborhoods with high concentrations of older adults, co-housing communities where residents maintain private homes but share common spaces and some resources. The transition to a more appropriate living situation needn't mean loss of independence. Often, it represents a proactive choice that preserves autonomy by reducing burdens and risks. Consider Margaret, who at 72 moved from her longtime suburban home to a downtown condominium. This planned relocation placed her within walking distance of amenities, eliminated home maintenance concerns, and incorporated universal design features throughout. 10 years later, Margaret remains fully independent despite mobility changes that would have made her previous home unmanageable. If you're contemplating housing transitions, resources are available to help. Certified aging-in-place specialist CAPS can assess your current home and recommend modifications. Senior real estate specialists, SRES, understand the unique needs of older home sellers and buyers. Area agencies on aging can connect you with local housing programs and financial assistance options. Virtual tours and stay options at retirement communities allow trying before buying. Remember, your living environment should evolve to support your changing needs, not become an obstacle to independence. By proactively addressing housing considerations, you reduce the likelihood of environment-driven dependency on family or institutional care. Pillar 5, Purposeful Social Connections. The fifth pillar, Purposeful Social Connections, may seem less concrete than finances or housing, yet research consistently demonstrates its profound impact on independence after 60. Strong social connections directly influence health outcomes, cognitive function, and emotional well-being, all factors that determine whether you can maintain autonomy as you age. The health implications of social isolation are startling. According to research published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, social isolation increases mortality risk by 29%, comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes daily or having an alcohol use disorder. Isolated older adults show higher rates of heart disease, stroke, dementia, and functional decline than their socially connected peers. While family relationships remain important, relying exclusively on family for social connection creates vulnerability. Adult children have their own lives and responsibilities, potentially limiting interaction frequency. Family dynamics may also complicate these relationships. What begins as casual visits can evolve into caregiving expectations, blurring boundaries between social connection and dependency. Diverse social connections provide different types of support and engagement. Helen, a 73-year-old widow, initially relied heavily on her daughter for companionship after her husband's death. When her daughter accepted a job requiring frequent travel, Helen felt abandoned and resentful. At her doctor's suggestion, Helen reluctantly joined a community center book club, skeptical it could fill the void her daughter's reduced availability created. To her surprise, Helen found not just literary discussion, but genuine connections with peers who understood her life stage in ways her daughter couldn't. These relationships evolved beyond the monthly meetings to include regular coffee outings, theater trips, and even a travel group. When Helen needed cataract surgery, her book club friends coordinated meals and transportation, relieving her daughter of these responsibilities and preserving their relationship as family rather than caregiver and care recipient. Building a robust social network after 60 requires intentionality, but offers tremendous returns. Consider these strategies. Pursue interest-based connections through classes, clubs, or volunteer opportunities aligned with your passions. These shared interests provide natural conversation starters and ongoing reasons to connect. Embrace intergenerational relationships, which research shows benefit both older and younger participants. Mentoring programs, community projects, and family connections outside your immediate family can provide fulfilling intergenerational bonds. Maintain professional connections through alumni groups, professional organizations, or part-time work. These relationships validate your expertise and provide intellectual stimulation distinct from family or purely social connections. Consider the power of proximity when making housing decisions. Communities designed for older adults often facilitate social connections through shared spaces and organized activities, while urban environments may offer greater access to cultural and social opportunities. Technology has transformed social connectivity for older adults, particularly during and after the pandemic. While nothing replaces in-person interaction, digital platforms offer valuable supplemental connection, especially with geographically distant friends and family. Resources like OATS, Older Adults Technology Services, and library-based technology classes help overcome the digital divide many seniors experience. Despite technology's benefits, virtual connections cannot fully replace in-person interaction. Studies show that physical touch, shared activities, and face-to-face conversation trigger neurochemical responses that digital interaction doesn't replicate. The ideal social network includes both virtual and in-person connections. Maintaining healthy family relationships while building broader social connections requires clear communication about expectations and boundaries. When Robert moved closer to his son's family after retirement, he preemptively addressed potential dependency concerns by saying, "I'm moving to be near you, not to be taken care by you. I want our relationship to remain father and son, not patient and caregiver." This clarity helped establish expectations that preserved both his independence and their relationship. For those struggling with social connection, structured programs can provide entry points. Senior centers offer organized activities and meal programs specifically designed for older adults. Faith communities often provide both spiritual support and practical social connections. Volunteer matching services like AARPs create the Good Connect seniors with meaningful service opportunities. Programs like Silver Sneakers combine physical activity with social interaction. By deliberately building diverse social connections beyond family, you create a support network that enhances your independence rather than compromising it. These relationships provide the emotional sustenance, practical assistance, and sense of belonging essential for well-being, without the potential complications that arise when family members serve as primary social connections and caregivers simultaneously. Pillars 6 and 7, Purpose and Legal Planning. Our final two pillars, finding meaningful purpose and establishing comprehensive legal planning, work together to secure your autonomy and legacy as you age. The sixth pillar, maintaining a clear sense of purpose, profoundly influences both longevity and quality of life. Research from the Rush University Medical Center found that seniors with high purpose in life were 2.4 times less likely to develop Alzheimer's disease than those with low purpose. The Blue Zones research, studying regions with unusually high concentrations of centenarians, consistently identifies purpose as a key longevity factor. Beyond these impressive statistics lies a simpler truth. Purpose gives you reason to maintain independence. When you wake with clear intentions and meaningful goals, you're motivated to preserve your health, manage your resources wisely, and overcome challenges that might otherwise lead to dependency. After retirement, many Americans struggle to replace the built-in purpose their careers provided. Without deliberate effort to develop new sources of meaning, days can become unstructured, leading to diminished cognitive function and increased depression risk, both precursors to dependency. Peter, a 67-year-old retired engineering executive, initially embraced retirement as endless leisure. After 6 months of golf and television, however, he found himself increasingly disengaged and irritable. His wife noticed he began calling their daughter multiple times daily for minor issues, creating tension in their relationship. Recognizing he needed more structure and meaning, Peter volunteered with a program teaching STEM skills to underserved students. This role leveraged professional expertise while serving a cause he valued. As his involvement deepened, his sense of purpose returned. His calls to his daughter returned to normal frequency and content, family connection rather than boredom-driven dependency. Finding purpose after 60 is highly individual, but often follows common pathways. Legacy work. Documenting your life story, family history, or professional knowledge preserves your wisdom for future generations. Technologies like StoryCorps and guided autobiography classes facilitate this meaningful process. Mentorship. Sharing your expertise through formal or informal mentor relationships benefits both recipient and giver. Programs like SCORE connect retired professionals with entrepreneurs, while intergenerational mentoring programs pair seniors with youth needing guidance. Creative expression. Pursuing artistic endeavors, writing, painting, music, crafts, provides both purpose and cognitive stimulation. Many community colleges offer discounted classes for seniors, while senior centers frequently provide art programs. Advocacy. Channeling life experience into advocacy for causes you value creates meaningful impact. Organizations like AARP recruit senior volunteers for legislative advocacy, while local issues often benefit from the perspective and persistence older advocates bring. Continued learning. Pursuing education for its own sake keeps the mind sharp while providing structure and social connection. Programs like Osher Lifelong Learning Institutes, OLLI, offer university-quality courses specifically designed for adults over 50. The key is identifying activities that align with your values, utilize your strengths, and provide both personal satisfaction and meaningful contribution. Our final pillar, comprehensive legal planning, provides a framework that protects your autonomy and ensures your wishes are honored even if your capacity changes. Despite its importance, this pillar is frequently neglected. A shocking 60% of Americans over 50 lack basic estate planning documents, while fewer than 30% have completed advanced healthcare directives. This planning gap creates vulnerability for both seniors and their families. Without clear documentation of your wishes, family members may face agonizing decisions without guidance. Courts may appoint guardians who don't know your preferences, and your assets may be distributed in ways contrary to your intentions. Consider Teresa and Michael, siblings who became embroiled in a bitter dispute over their mother's care after her stroke. Without advance directives clarify her wishes, they disagreed about treatment approaches, living arrangements, and financial decisions. Their relationship suffered irreparable damage, and their mother's recovery was compromised by delayed decisions and inconsistent care approaches. Contrast this with Robert, who at 65 worked with an elder law attorney to create comprehensive legal documents including A will detailing asset distribution. Durable power of attorney naming a trusted individual to manage financial matters if needed. Healthcare proxy designating a healthcare decision maker. Living will specifying treatment preferences. HIPAA authorization allowing named individuals to access medical information. When Robert experienced a serious cardiac event at 72, these documents enabled his designated decision makers to implement his wishes without delay or disagreement. His recovery was supported by consistent care aligned with his previously expressed preferences, and family relationships remained supportive rather than strained by difficult decisions. Effective legal planning requires several key components. Estate planning documents that address both asset distribution after death and financial management during life. These typically include wills, trusts, and durable powers of attorney. Healthcare directives that specify your treatment preferences and name individuals authorized to make medical decisions if you cannot. These documents should be regularly updated to reflect current medical technologies and your evolving preferences. Digital legacy planning that addresses online accounts, digital assets, and password access. This increasingly important element ensures your digital life is managed according to your wishes and prevents both lost assets and privacy breaches. Long-term care preferences documented to guide decisions should you need assisted living, nursing care, or home health services. Clarifying these preferences before need arises gives you greater control over eventual implementation. When developing these documents, communication with both your legal representatives and family members is essential. Legal documents provide the framework, but open discussion ensures understanding of the reasoning behind your choices and reduces potential conflict. Resources to support this planning include elder law attorneys specializing in issues affecting older adults, AARP and National Academy of Elder Law Attorneys, NAELA, educational materials. 5 Wishes, an accessible advanced directive document recognized in most states. Community workshops on estate planning often offered through senior centers and libraries. By integrating these final 2 pillars, purpose and legal planning, you complete the foundation of independent aging. Purpose provides a why of continued autonomy, while legal planning ensures your carefully built independence remains protected even through health challenges or cognitive changes. The 7 pillars we've explored: financial independence, proactive health management, emotional resilience, appropriate living environment, purposeful social connections, meaningful purpose, and comprehensive legal planning work together to create sustainable independence after 60. No single pillar can support the entire structure. Each reinforces the others to create a foundation strong enough to weather life's inevitable challenges. As we conclude, I'd like to emphasize that building these pillars isn't about rejecting family support, but about ensuring your relationships with loved ones remain based on mutual respect and choice rather than dependency and obligation. The greatest gift you can give your family is maintaining your independence for as long as possible, allowing your time together to focus on shared joy rather than caregiving duties. Whether you're already over 60 or planning ahead, I encourage you to assess each pillar in your life. Where do you see strength? Where might reinforcement be needed? Small steps taken consistently across all 7 areas will progressively strengthen your foundation for truly independent aging. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this information valuable, please like and subscribe for more content on aging with dignity and autonomy. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Which pillar resonates most strongly with you? Which might you focus on strengthening first? Your insights might just inspire others on their own journey toward independent aging. Remember, it's never too early or too late to begin building your pillars of independence. The choices you make today shape the freedom you'll enjoy tomorrow.